Today we're talking about the life lessons that I had to learn the hard way in my 20s. And I wish I could have learned them through wisdom, but it was mostly through wrong decisions, heartbreaks, and a few rock bottoms that I did not see coming. Everyone tells you that your 20s are meant for freedom, but what no one tells you is how heavy that freedom can feel when you don't know who you are yet. So these are the lessons that hurt to learn, but changed everything when I finally did. Today I'm actually traveling to Nigeria for the first time to meet up with my family. And it's a crazy feeling because I've never actually been back, even though I was born there and I've heard so many stories. To be honest, I'm nervous because I do not know what to expect, but I'm also excited to meet a lot of my relatives for the first time. Also, something about going home has me in a reflective mood, so I'm going to bring you guys along for the journey. But before we go, let's get into the first lesson. So the first lesson is to forgive sooner, because what I had to learn the hard way is that holding grudges only keeps you trapped. I spent years carrying anger towards people who probably forgot about me and what happened a long time ago. And the thing about a grudge is that it doesn't hurt the other person. It simply becomes a prison that you build for yourself. And it could get to the point where it starts to affect your peace, your relationships, and even your sleep. I remember that at times it would get so bad where when I would wake up, the hurt would be the first thing that I thought about. And then I would end up spending hours throughout the day ruminating about how I felt wronged. But what I had to learn and come into realization of is that forgiving someone isn't about letting them off the hook. It's actually about freeing yourself. I once heard a quote that goes, "Healing means losing the identity you built around your pain." So the moment you start forgiving people, even before they apologize, is the moment when you'll start to feel lighter. Okay, as we all know, first thing you gotta do when you get to the airport is make sure that the gate exists and then go get food. I'm walking up on the gate right now, B37. Okay, so it exists. Ethiopian Airlines stopping in Lomé, departure time 8:50. All right, we're good. Let's go get some food. It's a crazy flight, stopped in 2 countries, but finally made it here. Gonna meet up with the family in a second. Just gotta get through bag check and all that. Finally touched down in the homeland. Hey, Nigeria is nice though. This is nice. I'm impressed. This is nice though. Praise God. Yes, bro. Okay.
The wife and husband have been monitoring everything since Monday.
Wow.
He's here.
We're here.
Finally.
Yeah, we're here.
Welcome home.
Thank you. We'll see you
I'll
tomorrow.
see you tomorrow.
Okay.
By the grace of God.
By God's grace. Amen.
All right.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you? You're welcome to
I'm
Nigeria.
good. Thank you so much.
It's very nice to see you guys around.
Yes, sir. Okay, guys, it's been quite the couple of days. The flight was crazy, and then I landed in Lagos. That was a whole experience, the airport. I didn't have anything with me, and people just kept asking, take my bags and stuff. I just felt bad because I didn't have anything to compensate them with. So that's a lesson I gotta learn for the next time I come here. But anyways, we stayed in Lagos at one of my dad's friend's place. I think it's my dad's older brother's wife's brother's place. Very confusing. But anyways, we stayed at their place for the night, and then today we drove up to Ibadan, which is about 2 hours-ish away from Lagos. That was a whole journey. The driving here is absolutely insane. You can't even compare it to New York. New York is calm compared to the driving here, and it's also very hot. There's AC and fans and stuff, but it's all dependent on solar panels and things like that. But yeah, we saw my direct uncle today, my dad's older brother. He's about to turn 80, and then we saw his wife for the first time. I saw my aunt on my mom's side for the first time, and my cousins. So it's been quite a trip, and there's a lot more to experience, but in the meanwhile, let's get into the next point. Okay, so this is actually our family house in Nigeria. This is actually my brother's room. My room is next door. Some other people are staying there, so we'll just chat right here. This place is crazy. It's honestly crazy to be in here right now. I feel like it hasn't really sank in that I'm here. But anyways, the second lesson that I wish I knew earlier and I had to learn the hard way is to don't be cheap and to invest in yourself. I used to save every penny. I was very frugal, and I would save money and not spend anything on things that helped me develop myself, like courses, books, or even experiences. For example, coming to Nigeria is not cheap. The tickets aren't cheap, and this entire trip isn't cheap. And this is something that in the past I might not have saw the value in doing, unfortunately, because I was always in the mindset of trying to save money. But what I've realized is that there's a huge difference between being financially responsible and being cheap with your own growth. For example, like I said, this trip to Nigeria, that's one thing that in the past I might not have taken the step to invest in this experience because I was always trying to save up as much money as I could. If I would have maintained that mentality, then I would have missed out on a lot of life-changing things that's happened to me and that's been happening on the course of this trip. But then earlier this year, I also went to, it's crazy, it's been a long year, but earlier this year I went to Switzerland and Italy with some friends, which is another trip that was life-changing and really opened up my world perspective. And that's another thing that if I didn't invest in that specific experience, then I would have stayed in that same mindset that I had before going on the trip. And then another thing that I know gets a really bad rep in the internet world today is courses. I'm not the biggest fan of courses, but I've actually bought a couple that have helped me out tremendously. Like when I was doing Instagram theme pages, I bought a course for $200 and that course went on to help me make thousands of dollars online. I know this sounds like something scammy, but it is actually something that I invested in and had a direct return. And this doesn't mean that you should go and pour a bunch of money into some random course online promising you the moon and the stars. What I am saying is that if there's something that you think can take you from one level to another level, then you should take the chance and invest in it. You never know what that could bring for you. So what I've learned is that the best investment you can make is in yourself. So whether that's your education, your physical health, your mental well-being, or even just experiences that expand your world. How's the trip been for you so far, man?
Hey, man. It's been actually really nice, especially seeing family, seeing our family history. Yeah, and just a lot of people we used to talk to over the phone and like now I have no clue who they are. It's like now when they hand me the phone, it's like, oh, I really do know this person.
Yeah.
Especially me and Uncle Opayemi, we had a talk. It's the one you met when we briefly got out of the car. Like, we had like a longer talk yesterday. And it was just like, yeah, we gotta definitely try and keep in touch, like keep the family like just in unity. He was talking about how like our dad has been one of like the pillars of the house, like really keeping us connected, and like he wants to continue that with us. And so yeah, this trip has taught me a lot. On top of that, like just seeing Nigeria for what it is, is like now I understand why our parents are the way they are, why everybody is the way they are.
Like, all the little things that they did growing up, now it makes sense.
It's just who they are. It's just who they are.
Being here, I'm just looking around, seeing the culture, seeing how people move. I'm just like, yeah, okay. This is why you act like you act like. It's because this is the environment that they're raised in.
I used to be like, man, why they always yelling? Why they always so loud?
Like, you have to. It's like to communicate, you literally have to be loud. There's so much going on.
Man, even then, like just everybody looking mean, everybody looking at anyhow. That's just the normal face. That's not even they're not making a mean face at you.
Like the speed and like the intensity in which they carry themselves is like it's born out of a necessity.
And everybody is a hustler. Everybody will work.
Hustling.
That's why like that stuff translates so well to America. Like when you have the opportunity to just work and you working hard, like you'll see people working from 4 a.m. to and then come back late. They'll even be doing stuff late at night and they'll wake up the next day do the same thing. It's like that type of hustler
that we've been on. Every Nigerian is mad confident. Like they do not lack confidence, bruh.
Anything
he said, I'm executive. I'm the best. Like, bro, they could be mopping the floors and they are the best at it. Like, they know the best way to do it.
Cousin Daniel, he said, every time I'm driving, I'm always paying attention to the road. So if I go one time, I can never miss it. Never miss it again.
I can never miss. Like, being in the car was literally giving me anxiety. Like, I had to look away at some points because I was like, this is actually stressing me out.
Yeah, used to it. Yeah.
Bro been here 10 days talking about you get used to it.
I'm used to it.
But yeah, let's get into the next point. So the third thing that I had to learn the hard way is that nobody's coming to save you. And I mean that in the most freeing way possible. In my life, I used to live like I was waiting for something, like a miracle or a handout or someone to come in and swoop in and fix my entire situation. Don't get me wrong, I definitely believe in miracles because there have been things that happen in my life that are unexplainable besides God's mercy. But God also isn't a magician, and we can't just fold our arms and wait for him to come in and fix everything in our lives. He will bless what we do and what we put our efforts into, but we can't just expect things to just magically happen in our lives. And in talking to a lot of my family and cousins here in Nigeria, I've realized that everyone has this mentality where they're all working to improve their life situation. Like no one is just sitting there with their arms folded and waiting for other people to come and save them. Even though we pray and like we hope and we have aspirations for a better life, it's not like we just sit and wait for the government or things like that to come and fix our situation. Everyone here, it has a grind mentality, and it's honestly challenging me to go harder because I see all that my cousins are doing, all that my family is doing, and it makes sense why we all have the work ethic that we do, and why my parents have the work ethic that they have, and why they instilled that in us. It's because of where we come from, and we know that the opportunities that we have, we cannot take them for granted at all. Like we have to really put our all into these opportunities because our lives could be very, very different if that wasn't the case and we didn't take advantage of every opportunity that came our way. Because a hard truth that we all have to come to terms with is that nobody owes us anything. Not our parents, not the system, not the government, not even God in the ways that you might think. And if you just sit around waiting for other people to come and fix your life for you, then it's likely that you'll be waiting forever. And that's a big thing that I've learned about being back here in Nigeria. So the moment I started taking responsibility for my own life rather than blaming my circumstances and people around me, that's when I started to realize the biggest shift in my life. And not because my life got easier, but because I finally became the person that was responsible for my own outcome. And I feel like now I'm gonna go even harder, see where I come from, and knowing the opportunities that I have, like I have no excuse. The next thing that I had to learn the hard way is not to ignore the world around you. And this is all about staying informed. And this might sound random, but just take a second to hear me out. Because I used to listen to the people who said to ignore the news because it's all negative. And I understand the sentiment because the news companies, they really do prey on our fears and anxiety in order to gain an audience and to increase their watch time. I became so busy protecting my own peace that I stopped paying attention. And when you stop paying attention, you stop being able to make informed decisions about your own life and form a working understanding about the world around you. Being here in Nigeria for the first time, I've learned so much about this country and finally feel like I have a better understanding of where I come from and who I am. And part of that, yes, is from the experience, but also a big part of that is by staying curious and asking questions and reading. Through asking questions and having this essentially like curiosity about where I am and where I come from, reading more about it is how I've been able to understand the systems and structures that have kept Nigeria kind of stuck in the same place for so many years. This is like knowledge that I might not have desired to even have before because of the advice that I gotten that all news is negative and staying informed doesn't benefit you. And this doesn't mean that you have to know everything, but I do feel like you should have some understanding of what's going on in the world. Because what I'm coming to understand is that me and you are the leaders of tomorrow, whether we like it or not. We will be the ones leading our families and leading our communities. It's up to us to understand the gravity of this. Ignorance isn't peace, it's just ignorance. So one of the best things you can do for yourself is to stay informed and to stay curious about the world around you. Okay guys, so the last couple of days here have been pretty amazing. On Sunday, we went to my uncle's church and got to see his congregation, got to see my aunts on my dad's side, and also got to see my uncle's wife, who is one of the nicest, sweetest ladies that I've ever met. He has a compound about 30-ish minutes away from here. We're in Ibadan, Nigeria right now, and he's on the other side of town. And then yesterday we tried to go to Lagos Island, which is like supposed to be one of the bougier parts of Nigeria, where like a lot of like celebrities and like high net worth people stay. And we were trying to go down there, but the road to get there was blocked off. And it was because apparently there was a protest because something about the government had destroyed some houses, and then they were protesting in order to raise awareness about what was going on. So we couldn't get there, and it was a free-for-all on the freeway. I've been reading a lot about what's been going on in Nigeria. There's a lot of reasons why it's still considered a developing country. It's just because there's a lot of things that are in place that prevent it from progressing. That could be a topic for a whole nother video. If you guys want to hear more about that, I could talk about that. So today we're gonna try again, go to Lagos Island, and then hopefully visit some other spots. Then we also went to the market, which is an experience in itself. The food here has has been amazing. Probably one of the highlights of the trip. We tried 3 different types of jollof rice, all amazing, better than Ghana jollof. I don't care what you say, 100% better than Ghana jollof. Everything has been home cooked. We met our aunt on my mom's side, and she was cooking a lot of the food for us. Haven't eaten anything processed, no processed food. All right, so this is our balcony at our house in Ibadan. This is our view. You can see the different houses around us. That's our gate. I'll show you guys the rest of the building here. This is Ibadan. It's the homeland. Really is beautiful here. It's like just a simplicity of life that is really amazing to see. So this is our living room. This is the kitchen. Well, this is the dining room. We have mom here. This is bro Daniel. Say what's up. What's up, bro? Oh, he's eating. This is mom and dad's room. That's bro Israel.
Good, yeah.
This is dad. Dad, how's the trip been?
This trip has been very enjoyable and very, I would say, fulfilling. For the fact that we're able to have our children, our sons around. It's like for the first time, the first 25 years being in the US. Thank God that came through for us to be able to make this journey. And I believe that they will return back to their different destinations peacefully. And then it's an opportunity for them to see all of their siblings, cousins, and grandparents, big daddies and big mamas, able to meet all of them. And even the church families too. So it's been very, very interesting, very exciting, and very fulfilling. So to say, I believe that they have a good time. Both Tim and Israel, they have a great time with all of their siblings. It's great, and we give God the glory for everything. He made everything to be possible. I did not take it for granted. I give him all the glory and give him all the honor.
This is the bathroom. This is my mom and dad's bathroom. They got a nice bathroom. The shower here. So no, we don't live in huts. That's a lie. All y'all talking about we live in huts, that's not true. You see it right here. This is where we stay at. My dad brought all his shoes. I don't even know where my mom's shoes are. Well, actually there's a big old closet over here. These are essential, these fans and the AC, very essential. Need those. This is where probably all my mom's stuff is, in these closets right here. Okay guys, I'm back in the US and it feels so good to be back. That was a life-changing trip and it actually has me thinking a lot about the next point. So the next point is to focus on authenticity versus fitting in. I wish that earlier in my 20s, I understood that I didn't have to perform for people and that a lot of these people wouldn't matter in the long term and that they weren't even thinking about me to begin with. I spent so much of my early 20s trying to hide parts of myself, and in high school and throughout my life, basically, I spent a lot of it trying to hide parts of myself and trying to fit into spaces that weren't even meant for me. I remember like in middle school and high school, people would always make fun of Africans and people always make the joke that like we lived in huts and we would chase lions and things like that. And I know like people were trying to be funny, but at the time it didn't feel funny and it would plant a seed of shame, and it took me a long time to overcome this. So because of that, I would always try to fit in. But the exhausting thing about pretending is that you have to essentially deny yourself of who you truly are and keep up this facade forever. And the moment I decided to just be myself unapologetically is when everything shifted. Like I remember in college, I did a fashion show, an Africa Day fashion show. And that was one of the moments in my life where I fully just embraced who I was. And that's when opportunities and different doors started opening up to me that I didn't even know were there. So what I wish I knew is that I just had to learn to be myself, and that if I did that, the right people would come. And the people who didn't accept me were never meant to be in my life anyways. So if there's one thing I've learned, is that this life is chaotic. It throws things at you that don't make sense, lessons that hurt, and situations that feel like they can break you. And when you're in the middle of it, especially in your 20s, it's hard to see the point. What this trip to Nigeria, the new perspective that's given me, is that everything is working out, even if you can't see it. Every setback and every painful moment, it's teaching you something that you'll need for later. And despite all the chaos, what it'll teach you is to be grateful. Grateful for how far you've come and where you're going. Because when you really step back and look at your life, you'll realize that nothing was wasted. The pain had purpose. The struggle had meaning. And the person that you're becoming is worth everything that you went through to get here. All right, guys, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you found any value in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, you already know, don't drift. There's some chickens back there. Oh man, I think is she killing the chicken? Dang. That's dinner.